up to me, I'm just like, just say the line, because you don't need to sing it. There's... Hi everybody, I'm back after about like, oh goodness, it's been like 2 months. It's been 2 months, more than 2 months. That's really weird. I don't like that. But anyways, so I had mentioned in one of my videos that I really wanted to like talk about all of the shows that I saw, because I just like, every single one that I said, I was like, oh, it was great, it was amazing, it was fantastic, or oh, it was good, or, you know, whatever. But I actually wanted to like talk about each one that I saw while I was in London. Oh, to preface, if you haven't watched my videos before, I went to London for 2 weeks with my university for a quick study abroad trip. Well, it was like 10 days, but still. And I have videos there, so you can watch those if you want. But in throughout this trip, it was called the London Experience. It was a theater dance focused trip, so we saw a lot of shows, and then also I bought tickets to see like extra shows as well, which is a really good idea if you're gonna do something like that. And so yeah, so we saw about like 6. We saw like 6 together, 6 shows together, and then I saw like 2 extra, something like that. But I want to go through every single show that we saw, like that I saw specifically, and then that we saw as a group, and I want to like kind of talk about it, what my thoughts were, what I would rate it. I think I'm gonna do like a star rating thing, and also I have my notebook, so if I keep like looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Just kind of thinking the pros and cons of each show, and overall, like, I felt like I saw a lot of really good productions. Would I see some again? No. Would I pay full price for them? No. Would I see other ones? Definitely I would see them again, and I would highly, highly recommend seeing them. So, let's get started! So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do them in chronological order of when I saw them when I was in London. So the first show that I saw was, I paid for them myself. I saw Wicked, and I've seen Wicked before. I saw it in New York like a while ago, and so I'd already seen it, but my friend May, she hadn't seen it, and she was really excited, and she wanted to watch it. So I was like, yeah, let's go do it, because our professor said that it might be a good idea to see a show to get over the jet lag, so you get like forced to stay up, and so we did. So Wicked, if you don't know, it is pretty much the story behind, you know, the characters of the Wizard of Oz. You get to see where the Wicked Witch of the West comes from, where Glinda the Good comes from, you know, how they all play together, and pretty much it's about these 2 women, or these 2 girls who grow into women, and they find a friendship in each other that they didn't realize they had, and it goes through their whole journey, and you get to see all these different characters pop up. It's a fantastic show. I know a lot of people, if you're musical theater fans, like, you're definitely going to be like, oh yeah, I know what Wicked is. But if you don't know, that's what it is. Music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz, and the book is by Winnie Holzman. So, first of all, the pros. I'll start with the pros. When I saw it in New York, I saw Jackie Burns as Elphaba. And I know a lot of people like Jackie Burns, but personally I'm not a fan. I've seen her in several things. I saw the If Then tour that she was in, and like, she's not, like, I wouldn't say, like, oh, she's the worst person I've ever seen, but she's just not my favorite, so I did not really like her performance as Elphaba. However, I saw Alice Fern in Wicked in London. She was absolutely fantastic. So good. So good. I mean, the whole cast was amazing, but she was incredible, so that was a really big pro for me. And so the only cons was, if you saw my videos, there's like a brief mention of it, there's people behind us talking really, really loud, and it was so annoying. And they were talking in a different language, so I don't know if they were trying to like tell each other what was going on so they can keep like track of the story, which is like, fine, I understand that. However, you do it in a respectful way to everybody else in the theater, because it was like, you know, like how loud I'm talking right now? That's literally how loud that they were talking behind us. And we like shushed them multiple times, people behind them shushed them, and it was really annoying. And I'm like, I'm really trying to like get into the show, and I've seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was like, I'm trying to like immerse myself in this, and I keep having that noise. So that was really annoying, but that's not the production's fault, that's those people's fault. So, theater etiquette. Don't talk when you're in the theater, and if you do really, really, really quietly, or just wait until intermission, and then you can talk. Just saying. And also, one thing that I noticed was, like, the music to, like, sound levels was really quiet, actually. The ensemble, even Elphaba and Glinda and all of them, their vocals were very, very quiet in comparison to the music. I don't know if that was just a sound issue or that's literally how quiet they usually sing it, or if the music was too loud. I don't know. So that was kind of a little, it wasn't like bad, but I just noticed how very held back it seemed, and it just didn't seem to really overwhelm the entire space. So overall, I'm going to go do it out of 5 stars. I would give this one a 4. Definitely would see it again. Alice Fern, incredible. And also Wicked is just an amazing show anyways, so definitely recommend that one. The next show that I saw was with my group. We saw Caroline, or Change, which is basically it takes place during, the civil rights movement in Louisiana. It's in the South. And it revolves around a woman. Her name's Caroline. She is a Jewish housemaid, and she has 3 kids, and it's pretty much it's her journey of going along with the changes going on around her, that sort of thing. And, you see a relationship with the family that she works for, with her own kids, and, just the difficulties she's had to face, and stuff like that. It's pretty much the basic. There's a lot more to it. Like, if you want to look up synopsises so you can actually get the full deal. But that's pretty much all you really need to know. The music was by Janine Tesori, and book and lyrics by Tony Kushner. So, first of all, pros. The music, I love the music. It was very jazz, Motown, very much, I liked the groove of it. Very huge fan of, like, jazz, Motown, 60s music. I like it. Like 50s, 60s. So that was really awesome. I really liked all the jazz elements to it, and it was really good. I have a lot of issues with this show. The first thing was, I just feel like the plot was so bare. It needed so much more. It needed some more connectivity. Like, it needed to be, like, connected, and it was just very choppy in my opinion, and it kind of, I felt like I could see Caroline, her changing, or her own story development, her arc or whatever, but I felt like it was so weak that it was just really hard to follow and see that change, or see, all those things like that. So I really wanted more. It needed something. I don't really know exactly what it did, but it just needed something. Also, I found that there's many abstract elements to the show, like she's doing laundry, like in the beginning of the show, and like the washer has its own character. The radio is these 3 amazing, like dream girls type of girl. They were fabulous. But, or like the dryer, he's an actual like character. So I just felt like it was just so abstract. Like, there's also a moon character, it's all of this very abstract, like, metaphors type of things. And I found that it was actually really confusing because of that. I think that I would need to watch it a bunch more times to actually kind of get the connections between, the characters, and also, like, what does this symbolize, or what does this do, how does this connect to this, So, like, all those things like that. Some of them were more obvious than others, but I just felt like it was very confusing, and especially, that was just me personally. I know my professor, he absolutely loved it. He saw it again. The woman who played Caroline, she was amazing, so, like, I would probably see just to watch her work, but it just, I just found it was very confusing, and a little much, in my opinion, because I like things when they're abstract. That's my dog. I like things when they're abstract, but it just, there's a point, and I think that sometimes it can get, like, too abstract and just kind of get out, it just doesn't make it enjoyable, because you're just, like, sitting there, like, trying to, like, what the heck is going on? That was that. And with the whole, like, story arc thing, I just feel like Caroline, I just don't see a huge change in her. Like, how she goes from this woman who's just so dissatisfied with her life, and then just getting angry and bitter, but also, like, fighting to not change. I just kind of feel like then all of a sudden she's like, now it's time for me to change, and it's like, when did that happen? I was like, I don't see how, the whole thing developed. So that was that. Also, her daughter, who's, like, very much, like, revolution, she's, like, for civil rights movement, which is awesome. However, I just found she was really annoying. I think it was just how the actor was playing her. I don't think it was the character itself, but I found her very annoying. Also, too, I have this thing where, so like I love Phantom of the Opera. I really do. I love it. I love it. I love opera. I'm a huge fan. Les Mis, that sort of thing. However, I feel like there's a point when dialogue is necessary or needed, and singing the dialogue doesn't add anything to it. I feel like with Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera, it works. It has a purpose. You know, every line they say, every line they sing instead of, or just, you know, instead of singing it. This, I felt like, had so much dialogue that was unnecessarily sung. And it was very distracting. And it just didn't feel like it fit the piece, because I feel like with Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera, it fits the piece. But Caroline, Our Change is very, you know, it's more modern. It's not, well, not modern, but it's like 60s, and, you know, Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera are like years ago. So I feel like it just fit the piece better, those pieces better. I felt with this one, it just didn't fit, and it really bugged me. I'm just like, just say the line, because you don't need to sing it. There's no purpose. I mean, there probably is a purpose. Like Janine Tesori, she probably has a specific purpose for every line and every lyric. Oh, well, Tony Kushner too. But, you know, every line and lyric, you know, they probably have a purpose to them, but I just felt like it was very, very unnecessary. And it was very distracting too, because I'm just like watching them, just like I want to like focus on what you're saying and your own character, but like it's just getting lost with the music. I just didn't feel like it worked. That's my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. Like, I would love to hear your opinion. Like, if you thought this show was, if you've seen the show, or if you thought it was amazing, because I know a bunch of people love it. That's just not my cup of tea. So I gave this one a 2. I would not see it again. I wouldn't pay a lot of money to see it. I would listen to the music though. I definitely am like, yeah, I would definitely listen to the music. So the next show that we saw as a group was The Play That Goes Wrong, which it's a play. And it's by Henry Lewis, don't mind me, I'm just like looking at my notebook, Jonathan Sawyer, and Henry Shields. Now, pretty much, the title's pretty much what the show is. It's a show within a show. It's this theater company, can't remember what they're called, but they're putting on a show. And in the past, they've had like really disaster, like it's a very low budget, like disaster shows. And they put on this murder mystery, and everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. It's like the set falls apart, props go missing, they get swapped, actors get knocked out. You know, it's anything that could go wrong in a show. Like, people forget their lines. They have to. That's pretty much the whole show. They get through the entire thing, but that's pretty much the overview of what the show is. So, pros. I have lots of pros. I felt like I feel like with comedy, comedy's so hard. It really is. It's so hard because you don't know if people are going to laugh. You don't know, and you have to time it really well. But I felt like all these actors were so in tune, first of all, with each other, and working off of each other and playing with each other. But they were also just brilliantly timed comedic things. It was just so funny, and like my whole group of us were being so obnoxious, but it was because we were enjoying it so much, and we were laughing and clapping, and I know the actors on stage, they definitely appreciated it. Because like also the actors in the show, they're actors playing actors, the actors they're playing interacts with the show, like with the audience. Like there's this one character, he, when everybody would clap for him, he'd always be like, oh. He'd like play the audience, and it was really funny. But so, brilliantly timed. I thought their comedic, brilliant, and they all did so well too. Also with like commitment too, because I feel like sometimes it's like, I mean, obviously this is what they do. Like they're really good at it, and it's easier, when you kind of get to the fact is that you don't know how the audience is going to react, and you just have to like go with it. Just kind of keep going with the jokes, keep going with, just keep moving, which was, I felt like, very good. Very much the actor's nightmare to the extreme. If you're an actor or a performer and just having those dreams where this is a little different, but it's pretty much like, you forget your line, or, you can't find your prop, or, something's out of place, or an actor doesn't come on, and you have to be like, what the heck? I've had like stress dreams about like not knowing what I'm doing and being in a show. So it's pretty much that's what it was, and I loved that it's so relatable. Obviously there's a lot more stuff that like happens in terms of like sets literally fall apart. Like I'm not kidding you. Like there's a balcony. Like I don't want to like spoil anything, but there's a balcony that had like they had like an elevator that goes upstairs to like the study or like an office or something, and literally the beam, it fell and literally it was like slanted like this, and there's actors up there, like every time like something fell, it was like everybody screamed in the audience because it just like, and also I'm like, oh my gosh, like holy crap, like they're all gonna die. I mean, obviously not. With that though, they really had to be on their toes in terms of like all of those type of elements, and they couldn't lie down at all, like on the job. Like you have to, especially with all of like those specific safety cautionary things. Also, like, I feel like that was one thing that the actors were good about with each other, is just watching out for each other and having each other's backs and stuff like that. So I felt that was good. Also, I thought the beginning, one of the, the fake theater company, one of the head of them, he comes out and he talks to everybody. And, I guess actually too, though, before, my friend and I, we were late because we had dinner before the show, and we couldn't get our check early enough, and it was very frustrating, but that's okay. We still made it on time, but I think at the beginning they were like, the stage crew were like putting things together, and like things were like falling apart as they were like trying to put stuff together. But anyways, at the beginning, the head of the theater company comes out and he's like, hello, welcome, so happy that you're here, and everything like that, and then he explained all the different shows, because they had to do low budget shows, so like they couldn't do the full title of things. So they was talking how they're like, oh, we wanted to do James and the Giant Peach, but couldn't really do anything like that, so because of the money. And then they're like, well, we couldn't get a big peach, so well, we just did James, where's your peach? And it was the funniest thing ever. And also, like, some of the stage crew were the actors, or also stage crew as well, were wearing like the theater troops like shirts with like the shows that they did that like had shorter names because they couldn't do the whole thing. It was really funny. So I really liked that. Okay, my only one con with it, because I wanted to try to do like pros and cons of like everything that I saw. I felt like with it and how it was very fast paced, but sometimes there was a lot to like look at, and it kind of felt like it was like a sensory overload. So I was kind of like, oh, I want to watch what's going on over here, but then I'm like, well, I want to pay attention to what's going on here so I don't miss anything. So it's kind of a lot. It all worked though, so I didn't feel like that was too much of a problem. But I feel like I definitely would want to see it again, because every time like you see something, you'll see something different, and you'll be like, okay, well, I know what happens here, so I want to see what's going on over here. That type of thing. It's like when you watch a movie like a bunch of times. So really liked it. I gave this one a 4. Definitely would see it again. It was so funny. Really, it was very, very funny. I was laughing very hard, very obnoxiously. And yes, I would 100% see it again, and I would recommend you to see it because it's very, very good. Okay, so the next one is Company, which is by Stephen Sondheim. And this was one that I decided to do in addition to all the other shows we were going to be seeing. So, pretty much, so with this production, it was different because it was a gender-swapped version. In the original, the main character, Robert, or Bobby, is played by a man. But in this version, Bobby is a woman. And a lot of the different roles are also switched, gender-swapped. And pretty much it's pretty much surrounded about this woman, Bobby, and it's her 35th birthday, and she has all these friends around her, and it's kind of she interacts with all of her different friends and just kind of figuring out what she wants out of life and why she can't get it, or she's kind of always on the outside looking in, feeling like she's unfulfilled because she's alone and all things like that, and just kind of going through her journey. That's probably a terrible. Okay, most of these synopsises I'm giving are probably like, wow, Amy, that's like really bare. Also, I don't know what you're talking about, but look it up if you're confused, because I did like have a bunch of synopsises, but I didn't like want to spend all the time reading every single one. So that's just pretty much the basic gist of it. So, pros. Lots of pros. First of all, this show was a fantastic example of pristine musical theater. Like, it was so good. So let's just start with sets and costumes. First of all, every single production element, like with the lights and choreography and the blocking, everything just worked so well together. Especially also with how, so the show's kind of choppy in terms of it goes from like, she goes from one place and then she goes with her friends, and then she moves out of that little place and goes with her other friends, and you know, it's kind of her interacting with the people that she loves and that love her. And with this though, it kind of was like, you're following Bobby. She kind of reminded me of like an Alice in Wonderland. Like there was a moment where, you know, there's these moving set pieces that were like these blocks or boxes, and they would move in, and then she'd like move into the next room, and then there'd be another box that come in, and then she'd move into the next room. And there was other times too when she actually like crawled through spaces, things lifted up. It was just kind of like this seamless transition from one thing to the next, but it was also you just watching her walk through it instead of just being there. Like you get to kind of see her, you know, see all these things and being like, wow, like what is this? And I kind of felt like it was, you know, in her head, kind of her watching her go through all these experiences with her friends. So it's kind of her just like walking through everything. I thought that was fantastic. And the symbolism with all the different costumes, like I just felt they all fit their characters perfectly. And one like constant, you know, theme, at least with Bobby, was red, because she wore this red, or it was like a reddish orange dress, and she had beautiful like red hair. So I kind of like, you know, having that like in the center, and then everyone kind of having more muted-ish colors, I thought was also very cool, because I mean obviously it's all about Bobby for the most part. Oh yeah, and I'm looking at my notebook again. Also too, like I said, with the choppy plot, it just worked so seamlessly. And it made it so enjoyable to watch. Also too, because like just Bobby exploring everything and kind of moving from space to space, is that you learn a lot about her that way, you know, and how she's exploring all these different things. Anyway, speaking of Bobby, the actress who played her, Rosalie Craig, she was so good, so good. Gave me chills. Like she was incredible. Her acting ability, you know, and she gave such a vulnerability to Bobby. I know, especially I think specifically with the gender swap version, I think that was one thing that I read about how it kind of changes, because it's such a different perspective. I feel like there's that kind of vulnerability. I know that is in the regular version, which I've only seen once, and I saw a really bad production, like it was a community production of it, so I didn't enjoy it at all. I think also too because Sondheim is so difficult, and I think the music was really throwing everybody off, so it was like but anyways, so she was amazing. The whole cast was really, really good. I enjoyed them a lot. And the music, absolutely beautiful, stunning. It's Sondheim. I love Sondheim. I like the music a lot better now. I think it's just because they actually got the music, because it's just so complicated. Oh no, I'm a little tilted. Okay, no, don't tilt back. Alright, I might be a little tilted, I'm sorry. Okay, last thing too, since it was from a woman's perspective, I found like it was very, I mean, I'm not 35, I'm 21, so like I'm not there yet, but I felt like it was very funny, it was very charming, it was also very relatable, and just kind of, you know, feeling those moments of like, this is what I want, why can't I have it, or, you know, wondering what you actually really do want, and how you're going to get it type of thing. With this one, I didn't write down any cons. I mean, I think that there was some moments, like with some of the actors, I kind of felt like, one of them, he was kind of tone deaf, kind of pitchy, but he was only in like it for like a little bit, so like wasn't a huge deal. But I think I want to kind of see a professionally done original production, because I kind of want to see the differences of like how that all changes everything, because it really does. It really changes everything. So I gave this one 5 stars because it was so, I would see that again. I wanted to see it again. And oh, also too, if all you musical theater people out there, Patti LuPone was in it too, and I've never seen her live, and she was fantastic. So, you know, because she's Patti LuPone, so it was very good. But yeah, no, it was I'm very, very happy to see it, because it was actually kind of last minute, because a group of, like, the musical theater majors were all like, oh, well, we're Amy, like, we're going to go see Company, do you want to go see it? And I was like, oh, I don't know, let me think about it, and they were having a special, so they're having cheaper tickets, and I'm like, you know what, no, everybody's, like, going, I'm going to go, because I want to give it another chance, and I'd love to see the gender-swapped idea of it, so, because I like to see different things, I think it's interesting, so, definitely would recommend it. Also, oh, you know, I also heard, I think it is actually going to be transferring to Broadway soon. I think that's what I heard. I could be wrong about that, but I think that is true. So, who knows? Like, if you can't get all the way to the UK, you could possibly see it in New York, so. Hey, everybody. This is Amy from the future. So I'm going to end this video here. I decided that I'm going to split up my London theater reviews into 2 parts because it both together was about an hour long, and that's just too long. I guess I'll just talk about theater forever, but it was just too long just for those videos. So I'm going to split it into 2. So this is the end of part 1, and part 2 is going to be coming real soon. Bye!